Hello, how are you all doing? I'm trying to zoom in and it's not letting me. Well, sorry guys, I'm trying to zoom in, but I'm just gonna, I guess, figure it out as we go. So I got the erasable highlighters in that I've been wanting to try out. I was waiting for them all to come in. And then I was gonna try to do some of it yesterday, but then my internet went out yesterday. So it's been crazy. I'm trying to get comments and stuff pulled up. So give me just a second, guys, so I can see what you guys are saying. I know you guys are probably saying something, but I can't see them on my... Alright, let me try to zoom in again. I don't know why it's not... letting me zoom. It lets me zoom every other time I'm doing anything, but it's not letting me zoom now. Let's see if there's a setting. No? Wonder if it's because I have this little banner up here. Can I erase the banner? Hang on. This is the first time I've used a banner, so I don't know how to erase it. Oh, there we go. Okay, now, yep, that's what it was. It wasn't letting me use the banner. Hey, okay, so I may or may not have gone a little crazy on buying different types of erasable highlighters, different like price points and everything as well. So here's what I've got. So take note erasable highlighters. I have one brand, it looks like it's by Pilot Friction. I don't know why it's got the other writing on it. I got the Amazon Basics. So everything else I've tried of Amazon Basics has been pretty decent. Rytech is another brand that I got. And then these are Hanku, Hanku. So I'm going to try these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I also got, and we're going to try these out, Mr. Pen felt tip pens. Because I'm trying to see if there are going to be differences, or I guess different options for people that don't necessarily want to spend $3 and $4 a pen for the Pigma Microns that I really like. So these are felt tip pens. These are a little bit thicker of a tip. I think these were 0.7. And then these Mr. Pens, I think these were 0.1. I think. And then, because I was doing everything else erasable, I found erasable gel ink pens. So we'll try those as well. So, let's just do it this simply. So this is one of the new ones. This is the felt tip by Mr. Pen. So I'm going to do the take note highlighter first. Actually, I like the way that writes. It's a pretty nice pen. Even if it's not one that will write on the, what's it called? The paper in the CPT book. Then, so again, these are the take note erasable highlighters. So it comes with 6 different colors. I probably should have pulled up prices so I can tell you guys how much these are. So these are on Amazon, and these are as of the other day whenever I ordered them. So the Take Note erasable are $6.49 for a 6-pack. Actually, it's funny because I was just talking to somebody the other day. I'm not a big fan of my handwriting, but everybody loves it. So I think it's just we just don't like our stuff. So yellow is usually going to be my go-to as to where my indicator as to whether or not I'm going to like a pen or a highlighter or not, because if it's not bright enough and not bold enough, then I'm probably not going to like it. So let's try this one first. So the yellow, Take Note. It's pretty bright. I like it. Let's do the pink one next. Okay. My worry is if they bleed through. So far they haven't. The orange. Orange isn't as crazy bold, but that's not a bad thing. This is like a teal, I guess, is the best. Okay, let's see if that one bled. A little bit on the edges, but not too bad. And then we've got blue. I have a feeling that one's gonna bleed though. Again, not too bad. Oh, you guys can't see that. Not too bad from a bleeding standpoint. And then purple. Okay. Now the real test is, let's see how they erase. So far they haven't really bled through. I mean, the darker ones bled a little bit more. And I'll do it on a test page in the CPT manual as well. But let's see how they erase. So it's just a chisel tip as well. Yellow one doesn't erase. The others erase pretty well. Let's see why this. I wonder if the yellow. Okay. So the other color, the yellow eraser only works on the yellow. As you can see, I kind of went down here on the pink and it didn't work. So everything else is kind of you can use the eraser on the other color. The yellow has to be on the yellow. So that's good to make a note of. So not bad. Not a bad first impression at all. Let's see. Gloria says, any tips when taking your CPC? Go out and, like, I have a lot of tips, but I could talk for hours on it. Go out, Gloria, and look at my playlists and things that are out there as far as book prep and things along those lines. All right, so the next ones are going to be these Pilot Friction. So let's start out with yellow. Not, you can see the color difference. Not as bright. Let's do pink underneath. Okay, that one's super bold. It will maybe bleed on the pages of the, well, hang on. Sorry. I totally forgot to do a CPT page with those take notes. So palette friction, the orange. These are a lot more liquidy. So even if they don't bleed, they may not dry down very fast. Yeah, these have a lot more like of a liquid substance behind them, but I can already tell there's one thing I'm not gonna like about these. And I'll show you guys here in a second. Yeah, these are even on just regular paper. And then lastly, my purple. So, again, they didn't bleed through the regular paper, but because they're super liquidy, I'm worried that they're gonna smear super easily. Now, the eraser on these are not a liquid eraser, as you can see. It's more like a rubber, so it's a friction eraser. And you can see where I went over, and I'm not a big fan of these. I mean, they erase decently, but they are not, definitely not as good as the take note. So let's do this here. So let me make a section for take note. The palette friction. So this pen, it bleeds a little bit, but, or not bleeds, but it does take a second for it to dry down. So yeah, see, this is, it's sitting pretty heavy on the page. So these are gonna take a minute to dry down. See how it's balling up, and it's super. So these are probably a hard no for multiple reasons. If you're using them in your like textbook, they probably wouldn't be so bad. But from a CPT standpoint and the pages, yeah, I can tell that purple's gonna take a hot minute to dry. And then the blue, same thing. So let's see, do they bleed? Surprisingly, no. They do not bleed, which is a good thing. Okay. I'm gonna get these in here and then do my take notes. Do them back here on my CPT pages. So there's my yellow. Purple. My only complaint about all of these so far is it doesn't have a thicker chisel tip, like it's more of a thin, which, I mean, I can get over that. I think the pink is gonna bleed. And then lastly, my orange. I don't like the way the orange shows up on the paper. It doesn't really have much pigment. See? And they bleed. They bleed a pretty decent amount. So, okay. So both have a pro and a con of each. Oh, the palette friction ones Let me give you a price on those. That's these here. These were $7.50 for a 6-pack. There's a bleed proof highlighter. Is that what you're saying, Michelle? All right, this is 12, but there's not 12 individual colors. So these are the Amazon Basics. And then price-wise, these were $5.36 for a 12-pack. Daniel, most of these are considered Bible highlighters. Yeah. The reason I'm trying these is because they're erasable. So I'm looking to see if there's a good erasable highlighter that will essentially give us everything that we want. Okay. Brightness-wise, probably the brightest. Trying to find all the colors here. There's not an orange, which is fine. I'm just trying to do them all in the same order. Here's a teal. Here's a dark pink. So there's a light pink and a dark pink. I feel like I'm missing a color. Oh, and blue. And the blue. Okay, so did they bleed? Not really, at least on this paper. A little bit more, or a little bit more than the palette frictions. A little bit less than the take notes. So there's 2 of each color. For the book prep for ICD-10, yes. The ICD-10, oh, I didn't even test out the ability to erase. The whole point of getting these. Okay, so again, the yellow only works on the yellow. And then the other cup, well, it might help if I do the eraser and not. So if you go over it twice, it takes it a little bit longer, but it does still erase. Adri, yes, you can use 2024 books to study, for sure. If you're taking your exam in 2025, you can also use those to test. If you're doing the CPC exam. All right, so now we're gonna try to erase. Again, this one won't work on the yellow. It doesn't work on all of them, actually, on these pages. You know, I didn't even test the... And these do bleed. Okay. So far, I haven't found a really good option. Is book prep similar for 2024 to 2025? Yes, with the exception of 2025 book prep has your relative value units or your RVUs. Yeah, Danielle, I'm not a big, I like them from a like boldness standpoint, but I definitely am not going to be using those in CPT. All right, so the next ones are Rytech. I'm trying to figure out which ones these are. Oh, that's these. So these Rytechs are $13.49. And it's a 12 pack. Oh, thank you, Danielle. We were talking about that earlier. I am not a fan of my own handwriting. Okay, so these are bright. I'm not going to do every single one of these because it looks like there are 12 different colors. But there's just like one that's a little bit darker of a blue, one that's a little bit darker of a green, one that's a little bit darker of a pink. I think these are going to bleed too. What color am I missing? I have yellow, I have purple, green. Oh, there's... One, two, three, four, five. Oh, the... Okay, so bleed test. Hey, Shelby. Didn't really bleed. Kind of impressed. Okay. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so that way I don't have to keep moving the... And I didn't erase. Hang on. I'm getting excited to just try to use them over here. Then I'm forgetting. Okay, so again, the yellow has to have a separate one. The green is going to have to be its own as well. If I can find the right green one. Green doesn't erase as good. And then the yellow erases pretty decently. Yellow. I know, I started going in the same order as everything and then I stopped and it's going to drive me crazy. Luckily, this is a page I don't ever look at, so that one's going to bleed. I can almost guarantee that one, which is going to make me sad because I actually really kind of like these. All right. Yeah. These bled a decent amount. Really, the three first ones didn't. It's the darker colors that did. Probably should have done this on a page or like down here where there wasn't a whole lot of writing on the other side, or at least the purple. Where do you purchase book prep? If you go to the link in my bio, Danielle, it'll take you to medicalbillco.com/CPC. I'm not even gonna worry about erasing those. All right, last highlighter is Hanku. And these were hang on, I gotta find them. All right. For some reason, they're not in my purchase history, so I have to search for them. Hanku erasable highlighters. These are considered Bible highlighters. So these are $9.99 for a 10-pack. Hang on just a second, guys, sorry. Okay. So Shelby, yeah, so I didn't even think about erasable either until my live the other night. I don't know if you were on it or not. But I had a moment with an erasable highlighter, and so I decided I was going to figure out if any of them would be good to use in book prepping and CPT. So that way I'm doing all the hard work and I'm figuring out which ones are good. And you guys don't buy ones that, ooh, that one's gonna bleed. I mean, I like the boldness, but that one's gonna bleed for sure. There's a green. And then the blue. Ooh, that one's gonna bleed too. Not terrible. All right, erasing. I don't like this tip for the eraser. It's not a chisel. It's like a pointy tip. Okay, so the green has to have its own, and then the yellow has to have its own. But they erase pretty good, which is good. All right, so Hanku. Brightness wise, the Pilot one is the only one I just absolutely don't like. Again, I like the boldness, but it is not gonna, I can almost guarantee it's gonna bleed like crazy. I don't like the tips too much of these either. Again, I like the boldness. All right. Apparently the pink one, the light pink one, has its own. It does. It just takes it a minute. All right, highlighter wise, favorite colors. Well, let's see if it bled. Yes and no. Not as bad, some of them. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know that I like any of these erasable ones in the book because of the bleeding and or it doesn't dry very quick. So, unfortunately, I would not recommend any of these. But the felt tip pens by Mr. Pen, again, these are the felt tip, not the other ones that I'm going to show you here in a minute. These are really good for in the book because they dry fairly quickly. So these are price-wise. These are Mr. Pen felt tip. $7.85, and I'll put these in my list on Amazon. And this is 8-pack. The only thing that I can tell about these is it seems like they might dry out a little bit quicker. So that's the blue. Let me do all of your other colors so I can show you. This is your black. Purple. If you're anything like a pen snob, like I would like that to be a little bit darker. These might be a good everyday pen for me. I like that orange. So, pen-wise, zoom back in since we're not doing the book much more. Pen-wise, these are good. I would use these in the book. I'll probably use them on Sunday when we do book prep. So that way we can just kind of see longevity of the pen. Yes, I will save it and put it on YouTube just like as a free, so you don't have to be a subscriber for this one. But yeah, I'll get it downloaded and get it put on YouTube for a replay. I wish TikTok gave me the option to do replays on here like Facebook does. Yeah, so these are Mr. Pens as well, but these are multi-liners, and if you look, there's 0 ones for the tip. So these, if I can get in my phone. I like the thinness of it. These are artist pens. If I can write. These are $8.99 for an 8-pack. So there's your blue. I don't know why you would need a brown pen, but brown. It's a purple. That's pretty dark. I don't know. I might switch over to these if I'm being honest, instead of the Pigma Microns. I actually really like these. Alright, So there's the 8 colors of the artist pens. Actually, I think I kind of prefer those over the Pigma Microns. All right, so what do you guys think? I'm not a huge fan of any of the highlighters just from an overall standpoint, so I'll probably still continue to stick with my normal ones. But I might do a Bible highlighter review and get just a couple different ones that are Bible highlighters and not necessarily erasable. Hey Candace, have you signed up for the course yet, or are you just waiting to sign up for it? Oh, one other thing that I have is these erasable gel pens. So let's try those real quick. Don't get the pastel. Yeah, I did get some of the Mr. Pen. One of them was pastel and one of them was like a vibrant. I wasn't a big fan of the pastels either. So here is the erasable pen. They're all black, so I'm just going to do one of them. How do you... Oh, okay. So these are side clips. And you take your little wax ball off. I don't even know how to say this. Okay, this is more gray. This is the brand. Are the Bic pastels a little bit more bright? As you guys can tell, I'm very picky with my highlighters and my pens. I don't like the gray of this, so I'm probably going to be sending these back. So these are $9.99, and it's a 10-pack, 12-pack. Like I said, I don't like the gray. All right, and then your eraser is just like a little teddy bear ear. It's kind of cute. It erases pretty nice. That's actually, and it doesn't dull down the eraser part, which is really nice. I don't know. I might hold on to these because I don't like the color of it, but the erasable part of it would be nice. So, if you're one that likes a super bold pen, wouldn't do these just because, again, they're like a gray and not a black. But it does erase very nicely. All right, so that's really all I had to kind of like talk about and review today. I like the Mr. Pens, both of those. Those are really nice. I'm going to keep those. I will probably, I don't know. I know for sure I'm going to send the Amazons back and these because I don't like the eraser on them. As far as, where's my other? Oh, they're back here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to send them all back, to be totally honest. But the pens wise, the Mr. Pens ones are really good. I'm going to keep those. I'm going to keep both of those Mr. Pens. I'll do a bunch of Bible highlighters. I'll grab a bunch of those and we can see if we like the Bible highlighters. And we just won't have the erasable component of it. But I do have a coaching session with a student that I have to jump onto. But if you guys haven't already registered for the study session tonight at 7 p.m., It is our very last study session. So go ahead and go to the link in my bio and register for that at 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to go over E&M. So I will get this loaded into YouTube. It's going to be a free replay. Like, you don't have to be a subscriber. So you guys can go back and watch the different highlighters and things and all of that. And then, but moral of the story, I didn't like any of them. So, I mean, I liked them, but I'm going to try others. Cause I didn't really like the erasable component of them. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Y'all have a good night.